Hi everybody, it's Patti and Debbie from Print and Pixel Studio. And today we have kind of a fun video. It's something we haven't made before, or tried even before, but if you watched our last video, you might remember us saying that we had found this piece at an antique store, and we thought it was so adorable. It's just a little pin. I'm sure someone made it. It looks homemade. And it has like, this one has little dried flowers in it. And then it's got, I don't know what the finish is. It's not resin or anything like that, but they've encased it in there, and it kind of reminded us of wax paper. I don't think that's what this is, but that's the look it gives. And then they trimmed it in a little thin piece of metal of some kind, and then crimped it onto the edge. And it's really cute. And we thought that we would like to try to recreate this idea, not necessarily the exact design and everything, but this feel. And I don't know, a while back, I don't know how long ago it was we saw her video originally. There's a gal on YouTube, and her name, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, is Mary Ferrari, and her shop is Espresso Press Designs. And she made what she calls little wax paper vignettes, which are this type of thing. Now she has, hers are in different shapes, but we did the circles because we wanted to recreate this idea. And right now we don't have a lot of dies in a lot of different shapes because we've just never used them before. But
now we're going to get some.
Yeah, now we're going to get some.
Addicted to making these.
Right, we are addicted to making these. They're so much fun to do, and so we thought, well, we'll share it with you guys, and you might have fun making some for your journals as well. So what happened was we started out and we used two different methods. The first method we used was what is it? Elmers Glue. Just regular Elmers Glue. This is taking cues from Mary. We used regular Elmers Glue. And that turned out fine, except that we found that there was a lot of issues with the wax paper actually sticking to the design. However, on some of them, that wasn't a bad thing, because when the wax paper came off, well, I should backtrack here and tell them how it's made before we tell them what happened to it.
The other ones you want the wax paper on. These ones you didn't. You peeled it off.
I know.
Yeah.
But like I say, they're not going to understand what we're talking about until we show them how to make them. So what I'm going to do is to simplify this, is to show you how we're making them, and then as we're doing it, I could show you where the difference between the decoupage that we're using now and the Elmer's glue happened, and what kind of a result you get. You may like both of them. We did, but with the Elmer's glue, it's hard to get a consistency. So I guess what we'll do is just start making one, and then kind of discuss what we found, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's the best way to go about it? Otherwise, it's too much talking and too confusing. So to start out with, you need a piece of heavy-duty cardstock, or you can use packaging, which is what we used. When we first used the packaging, we sanded the shiny part down with sandpaper and put our design on there. However, we found that sometimes, not every time, but sometimes your cornflakes are going to show through on your design. Here's an example of one here. On this little bird, this pink is actually, if you look super, super close, it's a design from the packaging. However, it came out really neat. It gave a neat look to this little guy, but you may or may not want that to happen. So we've decided that we're going to put this part of the packaging to the back of the design and do it on the regular cardboard type feel. And then glue this to cardstock or something afterwards. So Here's an example of how they kind of turn out. This witch is just printed on linen paper. This is the same witch on linen paper, but covered with the wax treatment. And I think it really is really cool. It gives a really neat look to it. I don't know if you guys can pick it up in the camera or not, but it has a lot of texture and a very muted shine to it. So anyway, what you want to do to start out, and I'll go ahead and start with the witch. Debbie's working on some other ones over there that we thought we might like to do. She's going to do squares, I guess, this time, right? Little square designs.
Yeah, try some squares. We haven't done it yet, so this will be...
No, we haven't. But I mean, I'm assuming they're going to come out just like the other ones.
Yeah.
So the first thing you want to do is glue your design down to your backing paper, whatever you decide you want to use. We like to kind of like recycle, so we thought the packaging was a good idea. And we highly recommend this glue for doing that part of it. This Yes paste, you get the smoothest, greatest adhesion with this glue. And it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. Oh, here, Deb, are you going to use that? It gives you a little bit of wiggle room, so if you need to line anything up, you have a couple of minutes to kind of like get it together before it totally sets up. But like I say, if you are looking for a really good glue, give this a try because you can't go wrong with it. So you want to make sure, of course, like normal on any project that you do, that you get everything along the edges especially, so it adheres really well. And yeah, come on, buddy. But we had a lot of fun making these. We can show you some of them as we go along, but it's the glue method, the Elmers glue method, like we said, to us is not really worth it because there's no control over how it's going to turn out. Sometimes it turns out great. Most of the time it turns out okay, but you know, if you really want a foolproof method, use the decoupage. You get a good, your wax paper gets a good adhesion to your design, and you don't have as much headaches with it. But that being said, I don't think there's a bummer in the group. We had, pardon me, we never had a total fail, right, Deb?
No.
The ones that, like we were talking about this guy, who's the backing came through. But look how cute he is, and I love that look. It's really kind of antique-y looking. So, okay, so you put this down and you let it dry for a couple of minutes before you put the, I'm hoarding it over here. Do you need this? Before you put the decoupage on. And you can kind of get a feel. It doesn't have to be totally dry, but just kind of give it a little bit, minute to dry a little bit. While it's drying, we can show you some of these other ones. But you can see the cute looks that you get. They're just adorable. And then we, this one hasn't been backed yet with anything, and then we trimmed them out with metallic ink, in this case in the gold. And again, I would recommend that when you buy your pen, you definitely want the oil-based paint pen. These we just picked up at Michael's, I think. We had, excuse me, we had this one. If I can get the top off of it. Here, get that thing off. We had the big one, and it has a beveled edge on it, and this has more of a pointy edge. You can see what I'm talking about here. This is the size I would get, and that's what you want, is the beveled edge. It's much easier to paint the edges of these with that than it is with this thin pen. When I bought the thin, I thought, oh, we want the thin because we just want a thin edge around the circle. But it's it's not, I mean, you can do it, and I did it, but this is the size you want. It's much easier to control, and you get a much better line. Okay, so I guess I'm up to the decoupage stage here. Thanks. So you just want kind of a thin layer of decoupage. You don't want to overkill with it. The main thing is you want to make sure, again, like with any glue, you get the edges really well so that the wax paper doesn't come up there. So you don't need, oh, yep, see, I can see it picking up from the back. But you may notice that. You may notice that you get a little pickup on this first part of the process where the paper may be picking up from the backing material. But don't worry about it, because as it goes through, these are going to get run through the Sizzix Big Shot. And as it does that, it's going to press it down really snugly, and you don't have to worry about it. And the reason I'm holding this up to the light is I want to make sure I've got every spot covered here. And when you hold it up to the light, you can see if you have a few places that you don't have a good coverage with the decoupage. So that's the main thing. Make sure you get your edges down, and so that they hold tight. Do you need that? Okay. Then you take a piece of your wax paper, and it doesn't matter which side, they're both waxed the same. And just press it down really well so that you don't have any air bubbles in there. And you can do this with your hands. You can do it with your bone folder. And you can also, if you have one, use your roller, which works really good. Okay, and again, you let this dry for a couple minutes, right? Mm-hmm. Between doing the glue and this, I get confused on which dries, which goes on where. But anyway, just make sure your edges are really down tight. Okay, and then you can make yourself one of these little templates. Debbie came up with this idea, and it works perfect. A little template that you can put your paper on, and with the painter's tape, and it holds your wax paper from sliding all over when it goes through the Sizzix, or the Big Shot, or whatever you want to call it. So, huh?
My chair is so squeaky.
I know. Let us see the way that we're putting the sandwich together for the Big Shot, so they can see how we need to put it. Okay, so it's just basically we are using the chamois plate, and then just the a bottom plate and the piece of artwork, and then a piece of paper over the top of it. And one reason we are is it doesn't show up on this plate, but on this plate you can see it has grooves in it from the dies. And if you don't do that, you're going to have this design on your finished product, which you don't want. And another thing is you don't want any glue squishing out onto your plates. So you just put a plate or a piece of paper in between this plate, your artwork. It's this plate, artwork plate, and you're good to go. Okay? All right. You can do yours first, then I'll let you do mine.
Okay.
I don't have to get up. But anyway, let's see if I can find some here. We got them kind of mixed up, but you'll see the ones that have, oh, here's another example. This one has the wax paper. This one doesn't. This one is one that the wax paper peeled up off of. And it's still great looking. It's just not as vibrant as the other. So that's a good example of the difference between, and it doesn't have the sheen. And sometimes you may want that sheen and sometimes not. So I would say that you could experiment like we did with the glue, Elmers Glue, and with the decoupage and see what you like. Our personal preference and our recommendation is the decoupage works the best.
Run yours.
Oh yeah, thanks. Here's another one with the wax paper that came out really cute. This is one of my favorites, I think. Love it. Let's see. And then what was the other favorite we had here? Oh, yeah, the little roses. I'll show that in a minute. Here's one Debbie did last night, just fooling around to see how it would come out with a dried flower. We don't have a lot of dried flowers, so we didn't do much of that style. But you can see how cute this is. And it actually gave, it's funny, but with the wax paper on it, it actually gave kind of a white cast here and there to the design, and it really looks cute. It looks very vintage. So we're going to try a lot more of those. Oh yeah, here's another one of our favorites with the wax paper. You can see how cute they are. And some of them we had trouble with our ink pen because it was running out of ink. And so they're not as golden as they could be, but that's always fixable when you get a new pen. But you can see, especially with the rose here, that it's very similar in finish. I'm hoping that you can see that in the light, but it's very similar to the original piece that we're trying to duplicate in the shine. Am I ready to go here?
Ready.
So now all I have to do is just cut all the excess paper off. How'd yours come out over there?
I haven't
We don't
taken
know
mine
yet.
apart yet.
Oh.
Just
Yeah. So just cut off your excess paper. And again, if for some reason you do have it coming up a little bit on the edge of the paper, separating it a little bit from the wax paper, don't panic. Just take a little bit of glitter glue or a little more decoupage and touch up the area that needs to be repaired. And I'll show you in a minute. I had to do that on my first one here, and you would not know it. You can see here, there's no place that you can see where I repaired it. It's perfectly fine.
yes, they're very forgiving.
Yeah, they are forgiving. And like I say, we don't have a bummer in the bunch. We like them all. And the ones that came out with the wax paper and the ones that didn't. And I see if I can find one that I think you might be able to see on screen here. Oh yeah, here's an example, Debbie. Well, we have one of our friends who is sends us ideas for projects, and this is going to be our next video today. She sent us an idea for this project, and we just finished it, and we're going to show it in our next video. But this is the this little bouquet medallion used on the back of this journal, and this is a pocket here, or a belly band is what I'm trying to say here. So it'll be really cute. I'm not going to show the whole thing because in the next video you can see it. It turned out so cute, and the story behind it. But anyway, so I was trying to see if I could find the one. This one has the wax paper. I hope you can see the shine there, and it turned out perfect, and I adore the swan. And let's see, it's one of these that the paper was taken off, the wax paper was taken off of, and it leaves, and I don't think you can see it because I can barely make it out, but it leaves a really cool texture. So that's what I'm saying. If you want to play around with these and try the Elmer's glue, put the Elmer's glue on, let it dry, put it through the machine, the whole 9 yards, and then peel that wax paper off if it doesn't stick. If it sticks, you may want to leave it, but if it doesn't, which 9 times out of 10 it won't, peel it off, and you get kind of a cool texture on some of them, but it's not every time. That's the problem with it. It's not consistent, but it does give a cool look if you want to try it. But we're like hooked on these. We're totally addicted.
Right, and we're experimenting constantly.
Right.
with different ideas.
Who knows what we're going to come up next, with them next. Now, here's another thing I want to show you too. when the witch first came out, this is going to be on my journal that I'm working on, and I have my cover done. But since we started these, I just liked the effect so much that I wanted to try and see if I could use it on my little garden witch for the cover of my journal. And when I did this is the first one I did of her in this process. And it came out like this one, and I thought, oh gosh, I don't know. It just doesn't look vibrant enough to me. It's kind of muted, and I don't think it's going to work for me. But as it dried, look how cool this one looks. It's totally, the color is so clear and so nice, yet it has that vintage kind of antique-y photo look, you know? And when you hold it up to the light, you could see texture there and a muted shine. Oh yeah, I will say we used matte Mod Podge.
Yes.
So I'm probably going to put this on my new journal. But you can see if when it first comes up, you may be a little bit disappointed and think, oh no, that's not going to work for me, because you can see kind of a white cast and all that. But let it set for half an hour, and this is what you get. So don't panic if it comes out and it's not to your liking. Let it set for a little bit, give it a minute, and I'm sure you will like it. Let's see what you got there.
Well, this is, I was just testing to make an edge.
Yeah.
But the scissors, I would need to cut it first, I think, maybe, to get an edge, if we did edges.
Oh, yeah.
It's not right, you know. I'm just experimenting.
Why?
Huh?
Well, maybe if you had smaller scissors.
Well, if we used these, but they're too...
Oh, they're not close enough together. They're too wide apart.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. But it's another idea. And I love the square. And here's this little bouquet again. And look how cute it is. It's so antique looking. And I just think it would be really cute. And you could, like Debbie said, she would edge it first. But the only trouble with that is, how can you cut the wax paper?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to. No, I think it's just the scissors we have aren't right.
Yes, I think if you had the right pair of scissors.
Right,
for sure.
right. I think it would. I think it would be really cute.
Bigger gold one.
Yeah. Let's see. We did some little guys too.
Tinies, those
Yeah.
are super cute.
Which are you looking for?
The big gold pen. I got it.
Yeah, check that out, because it looked tarnished to me last night.
Yeah.
Here's a little tiny guy that we did, and those are super cute. I could see these, used as a dangle on a journal or something. Really cute. Used in a little cluster would be cute.
Yes.
There's just a lot of things that you could do with them. The little bird is cute. Like I say, there isn't, even the ones that the wax paper didn't stay on, this is one of them. There's not a bummer in the group. They're just adorable. Really cute. And be sure and check out Mary's page. That's Espresso Press Designs, because she used, I think, 2 or 3 different dies to cut hers.
Really
and
cute
yeah,
ones,
they're
yeah.
very cute, very cute. And we really thank her for the inspiration, because we had been thinking about doing something with this one, trying to reproduce it for a long time. And then when we saw her video, we thought, oh, perfect. I think this could work. And it did. And we're very excited about it, because it's just kind of a great thing to do. And they're so cute. You could think of so many things to do with them, that we were not disappointed in the least. So yeah, you can start to see that this is starting to dry out now. It takes about half an hour, 45 minutes, and you get a good picture. What, you didn't like it? Oh, Debbie had a...
It's, like I said, we just learned to do these last night, so.
What's wrong with it?
That pen is what's
I know, I told you, that pen.
The
That pen is,
something's
it's,
going.
I think
Probably
it's
getting
old
empty.
and it's oxidized. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
But
not coming out.
well, maybe not, but the rest of it is adorable.
Yeah,
It's
cute.
really cute. I like the squares.
Yeah,
I like
think
the squares.
There's definitely
Yeah.
potential there,
Yeah.
for sure.
No, I know that pen, something's wrong with
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So, but, yeah.
Well, I hope that we described this properly so that you could learn how to do it at home, and that you could have a lot of fun with it. And I'll tell you how cute these are. We're thinking about putting a little packages together of them in the shop, you know, a little cellophane bag of different patterns, and putting them in the shop, because like I say, there's not a bummer among them. They're just adorable.
Just fun.
And some of them still need to be backed, but they're super cute. Some of these we backed. I had an old card that I cut up and backed them. I don't know which one. Oh, here's one. This has an old card that we just cut up and backed. So they're really cute. And you could, you know, realistically, you could put little pins on the back of them, or you could do them.
Hidden paper clips.
That's what I was going to say, that you were talking last night about the
yeah.
paper clips. They're just, you know, let your imagination
Right.
run. And like I say, you could do all kinds
Punch a
of great
hole in 'em,
shapes.
yeah, and
Yeah, right.
little eyelid
Right.
or something in them.
Yeah, that's what
don't
we were
know.
thinking about, these little baby ones, putting them on, what are those things called? Those
Little.
remind me of light bulbs, those little clips with the,
Here we go again. We never know the name of anything.
no, no. What is that?
Calabash pins. Calabash pins.
I guess. I don't know. They're weird. But they could be cute, you know, hooked onto something, maybe with a little bead or a button or something. Cute. No, we've never even opened these, tells you. We haven't even, oh, yeah, we have. They're open from the top.
Millions,
Yeah.
so I was going to say
Yeah.
they're going to be everywhere now.
Well, anyway, you guys know what we're talking about, these little guys. And but they would be perfect for these, and make something to hang on your journal, you know, or card. Folio. Cute. Yeah. No. Well, I guess that's it. They're simple to make. It doesn't take that time to do a video on it, because they're very easy to make and fun, and you'll become addicted like we have, I'm sure. But anyway, be sure and tune into our next video, because we have a cute little story about this, and it's a real special little piece for us. So anyway, we'll see you next time.